Hello दोस्तों, welcome to our final video in this series. So in today's video we'll be discussing regarding the section B questions in zoology. और हमने इसके previous 3 videos में physics, chemistry और bio का discussion किया था, so you can refer to those videos for the respective subjects. So now as usual this will be a quick review and not a detailed discussion. I'll just be telling you how to approach these questions and किस type के questions आ रहे हैं. Alright, so let's get right into it. The first question was, if a colorblind female marries a man whose mother was also colorblind, then what are the chances of her progeny having colorblindness? So if you know the theory of colorblindness, you will know that colorblindness is an X-linked recessive trait. So for a man whose mother is colorblind, like for females who are colorblind, उनके दोनों X chromosomes have the mutation. So this blind female has defective X chromosome, both are defective, and in this case of the man, since his mother had 2 defective X and he gets one of those X's from his mother, he has 1 defective X and 1 normal Y, which means that he is also colorblind. So basically बोल रहे हैं कि there are both the mother and the father are colorblind. So what percentage of the children will be colorblind? So इसके लिए you can draw a 4x4 chart first. So if you've just gone through your genetics, you'll know what these 4x4 charts are. So इसमें आप XX मतलब defective X of the mother, defective X of the father and normal Y of the father if you do. आपको मिलेगा कि these two are the girls and these two are the boys. So both the girls will have 2 defective X's, so they are colorblind. And for the boys, they have 1 defective X and 1 normal Y, which makes them colorblind, since colorblindness is an X-linked recessive disorder, which means that 100% of their children will be colorblind. So this was a basic run through of how you have to solve these questions, but you need to know the theory of colorblindness to be able to attain this properly. Okay, next question, which of the following are not the effects of parathyroid hormone? Not matlab they are asking for which are the incorrect statements. Right, so they have given you 5 statements और 5 statements के आपको उसके बाद में चूज़ करना है कि कौन से incorrect options है. So पहले to the approach to these questions are that you have to read and you have to check which are the correct and which are the incorrect. So parathyroid hormone stimulates the process of bone resorption. Yes, it does. Does it decrease the calcium level in blood? No, it does not. It increases it. Resorption of calcium by renal tubules. Yes, it does. Decreases the absorption of calcium from digested food? No, it increases it. And increases the metabolism of carbohydrates? This is also wrong. So which means that you have 3 wrong statements, B, D and E, and that is what they have asked you, and hence the correct option is option 1. This question is from human physiology and directly from NCERT, so that's how you need to come to the answer. Next question, which of the following is a correct statement? Bacteria are exclusively heterophilic organisms? Wrong. Slime molds are saprophytic organisms under kingdom Monera? No, it's not under Monera. Mycoplasma have DNA, ribosome and cell wall? Wrong, cell wall is not present in mycoplasma. Cyanobacteria are a group of autotrophic organisms classified under Monera? Correct. So over here option 4 is correct, and this is from plant kingdom, animal kingdom, that area, biological classification. तो आप उधर से ये question आया है. Next is match the list. So आपको list match करना है. So they have asked, basically they've given you some structures and what type of connective tissue is present, and you have to match those. So again in this type of question the approach will be that आपको match the list को criss cross कर लेना है और उसके बाद इन options में से select करना है, because as you can see these are many numbers and many alphabets, so that don't get confused, you have to first mark it. So bronchioles में ciliated epithelium रहता है, फिर आपका adipose में loose connective tissue is there, tendons में you will have dense regular connective tissue, and goblet cell is basically glandular tissue. So you have A4, B3, which will be this one most likely. Yes, it's option 4. So like that you just have to match it and you have to get your answer. Over here it's option 4. Which of the following statements is not true? Sweet potato and potato are an example of analogy. This is wrong. Homology indicates common ancestry. This is not the answer. Flippers of penguins and donphils are a pair of homologous organs. This is a wrong statement, which means that this should be the answer. And this one again is a correct statement, so this is not the answer. So मतलब आपका option 3 is the answer. So of course इसमें आपका explain करने का कुछ ज़्यादा है नहीं. This is all theoretical questions. आप जितना अच्छा NCERT पढ़े हो, remember कर पाए हो, समझ पाए हो, उतना ही आपका better answer होगा. Which of the following is not a desirable factor for a cloning vector? Not a desirable factor. Mark the question, it's not. So presence of a marker gene, it is desirable. Presence of single restriction enzyme site, it is desirable. Presence of 2 or more recognition sites, that's not really desirable. Let's read the next option. Presence of origin of replication, that is of course desirable. So not का मतलब आपका option 3 is the correct option. So as you can see, what I'm doing for these kind of correct, incorrect, match the statements is that whenever the options or statements are given, just put a tick or a cross next to it to indicate so that you don't get confused later on. तो फिर आप properly question देख के फिर answer कर सकते हो. So in this question, basically this is a AIMS type of question. So आपको 2 statements दिए गए थे. You have to read these 2 statements, statement 1 and statement 2. In a scrubber, the exhaust from the thermal plant is passed through the electric wires to charge the dust particles, and statement 2 is particulate matter of 2.5 meter size cannot be removed by scrubber but can be removed by an electrostatic precipitator. So options 4 रहते हैं आपके to determine कौन सा correct है and कौन सा wrong है. Again, as the previous things that I've told you, you should just mark कि कौन सा आपको correct लग रहा है, कौन सा wrong लग रहा है. So this option is also wrong. Both options are wrong in this case. Statements are wrong in this case. So which means that अब options में जाइए, जो option बोल रहा है कि दोनों statements incorrect है, that is the answer, which is option 1, which is what has been marked over here. Right, let's move on to the next thing. Recombination frequency between genes A and C is 5%, B and C is 15%, B and D is 9%, A and B is 20%, C and D is 24%, and A and D is 20%. What will be the sequence of these genes on a linear chromosome? So ये आपका genetics का question है, and थोड़ा सा biotechnology, the better you know it, the better you will be able to answer these questions. This is a conceptual question. The answer for this will be option 3, which is A, C, B and D. So आपको पहले ये सब एक side में लिख लीजिए, and then you have to start doing the calculations. Calculations in the sense जो relevant calculations and concepts है, you have to apply those, and that's how you can be able to attain the answer. Next one, over here it's written 10. If it's not visible, then I'm just writing it here. 10 E. coli cells with NDS-DNA, double-stranded DNA, are incubated in medium containing 14 N nucleotide, मतलब एक labeled nucleotide nitrogen का है. After 60 minutes, how many E. coli will have DNA totally free from N15? So again ये genetics का question है, and the answer will be 60 cells. So this is again theoretical तो है, but at the same time you can see that there is a little bit of maths involved. 10 E. coli and 60 minutes. So you have to know कि E. coli का कितना है generation time, how much time is taken. So only if you know that, only then will you be able to answer this question. So again, that is a theoretical knowledge that you must have to be able to answer this. This is a little bit of a difficult question considering it's bio, because इसमें आपका theory as well as आपका conceptuals लगेगा to answer this. Right, let's go on to the next thing. Again ये match the list type का है questions. So this is human health and disease का questions है. Contraceptions के बारे में पूछा गया है. So diaphragms, they cover the surface and block the entry of sperms. Contraceptive pills, 1. IUD is going to be increased phagocytosis, and lactational amenorrhea is absence of menstrual cycle and ovulation following parturition. So इसमें आपका correct option है 1. This is again theoretical and a bit of common sense. So इसको please match these physically first in your options, and then देख कर correctly matches so that you don't get confused between all these numbers and letters. Right, next one, select the incorrect statement with respect to acquired immunity. So let's read the questions and mark what is correct and what is incorrect. Anamnestic response is elicited on subsequent encounters with the same pathogen. This is correct, which means it's not your answer. Anamnestic response is due to memory of the first encounter. This is correct and hence not your answer. Acquired immunity is a non-specific type of immunity defense present at the time of birth. This is not correct. It's specific and it is not present at the time of birth. Then primary response is produced when our body encounters a pathogen for the first time. This is correct and not your answer. So your answer here is option 3, and that is what has been marked here. I don't know if it's visible to you. I think it got a little cut off, but the correct answer is option 3. Right. Let's move on. Select the incorrect statement regarding synapses. फिर से एक ही टाइप का क्वेश्चन they are asking. Incorrect statement पूछ रहे हैं so that you get confused and just select the correct option. So you are a smart child, don't do that. Always select the correct one. तो synapses के बारे में कौन सा incorrect है वो मार्क करना पड़ेगा. पहला वाला option, electric current can flow directly from one neuron to the other across the electrical synapse. This is a correct statement and not your answer. Chemical synapses use neurotransmitter. This is correct and not your answer. Impulse transmission across a chemical synapse is always faster than across an electrical synapse. This is wrong. Electrical synapse में faster होता है because वो directly transfer हो जाता है. The membranes of presynaptic and postsynaptic membranes are in close proximity in an electrical synapse. This is correct. So again, your incorrect option is option 3 and you have to correct that. Tick that. Which of the following statements is correct? Now ये थोड़ा सा different आ गया. So that अभी आपको हैबिट हो गया होगा इनकरेक्ट स्टेटमेंट्स मार्क करते करते. So now they have confused you and asked you which one is the correct one. Bicuspid and tricuspid valves open due to pressure exerted by simultaneous contraction of the atria. No, this is wrong. They are just always open. ऐसा कुछ नहीं होता है. Blood moves freely from atrium to ventricle during joint diastole. This is correct. 70% of the blood moves freely. Increased ventricular pressure causes closing of the semilunar valves. This is wrong. ऐसा नहीं होता है. Atrioventricular node generates an action potential to stimulate atrial contraction. No, this is wrong. So the correct option is only one, which is option 2, and that is your answer as is given over here. So that's it. That's all that was there in your NEET 22 section B of zoology. So as you can see, the approach is always to put a tick or a cross against all the statements, or to just draw lines and match the columns when match the columns are given, so that you will not get confused while selecting the answers. तो पहले ये सब कर लीजिए, मतलब ऐसे जॉइन कर लीजिए या फिर करेक्ट एंड रॉन्ग मार्क कर लीजिए, फिर क्वेश्चन पढ़िए व्हाट दे आर आस्किंग एंड देन मार्क द आंसर. Okay, so this way you will not get confused when they are asking about incorrect. कभी कभी they are asking about the correct one and then match the columns में इतने सारे numbers है. इन सब में confused आपको नहीं होना चाहिए, इसलिए I am telling you, please follow this method. So thank you students, that's it for today. Continue solving your questions. Happy studying.